The name of this story is called Gordon Runs Dry. One morning on the island of Sodar, Gordon's coaches were late. "I shouldn't be waiting," he moaned. "The express is the most important train of the island." Thomas thought local trains were important too, but Gordon didn't agree. At last, Gordon was coupled to the express and he rushed off to the main line. Further along the track, Paxton was pulling stone trucks. He didn't know that Gordon was hurrying toward him. Suddenly, Paxton's signal turned red. As Paxton braked, a stone flew out of his truck. It hit Gordon's boiler. "I'm so sorry," Paxton said with a gasp. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," Gordon replied. "You can't damage a strong engine like me so easily." "You should get checked for damage, just in case," Paxton warned. "Nonsense," Gordon replied. "The express must not be late." But Gordon didn't get far before his boiler began to run dry. "That's funny," he said to himself. "I thought I had plenty of water." So when he saw a water tower, Gordon asked his driver to stop and fill up his tank. But Gordon didn't get much further than that before his boiler felt hot and dry again. "I can't stop twice," he fretted. "I'll be late. I must keep going. This is the express." Thirsty Gordon tried to ignore the river he passed, but with his boiler running dry again, he had to stop at the next water tower. Gordon's passengers weren't happy. The express was meant to be a fast train, not a slow one. "I'll be fast now," Gordon promised as he hurried to the Wellsworth station. But as soon as he was back on the main line, his boiler got dry again. Poor Gordon left a wet trail behind him as he went slower and finally came to a stop. Thomas followed the wet trail along the track and found Gordon. "I've run out of steam," Gordon said sadly. "You must have a leak," Thomas said. Gordon wondered how that could have happened. It was when Paxton arrived that Gordon remembered the accident. "I should have been checked after that stone hit me," Gordon said to him. Then Thomas saw the hole in Gordon's boiler. "Don't worry, Gordon," he said. "I'll take your passengers, and Paxton can push you to the steamworks to be fixed." He smiled at Gordon. Later that day, Gordon pulled into Knapford Station blowing steam from his mended boiler. The other engines teased him, but Gordon had learned his lesson. In the future, he would always make sure to take care of his boiler. Well, that ends our first story. Hope you guys are enjoying this because we've got more on the way. Stay tuned. The name of this story is called Noisy Stafford. Lots of engines on the island of Sodar are noisy steam engines like Thomas and Percy. But Stafford is quiet because he's a battery-powered electric engine. One day, Stafford saw some children waving from a bridge as Thomas and Percy tooted and peeped below them. But when Stafford gently hummed past, the children wondered why he was so quiet. A little later, Stafford met Thomas and Percy on the main line. "I know I'm an electric engine," Stafford said to them, "but I want to chuff and puff loudly like a steam engine." "We'll teach you," Thomas said with a smile. Chuff, chuff, chuff. Puff, 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 Stafford said, copying Thomas and Percy. Well done, Stafford, said Percy. You sound just like a steamy. Stafford beamed happily as he raced away. At Brindam Docks, Stafford heard Henry whistling loudly. Oh, said Stafford, that's another steamy sound I'm gonna make. And he also copied Gordon, who honked his horn and blew his whistle. Woo, woo! The next time Stafford passed the children on the bridge, he made all the steamy noises. Puff, puff, puff. Chuff, chuff, chuff. Wheesh! Woo, woo! The children cheered with delight. When Stafford went to the yard to change his battery, Sir Topham Hatt was there. He had an urgent job for Stafford. You're needed at Farmer McCall's farm, Sir Topham Hatt said. You're just the engine for the job. But when Stafford arrived at the farm, making his steamy sounds, he scared the farmer's sheep. I asked for you because you're a quiet engine, Farmer McCall said to Stafford, but your steamy noises make my sheep run away. Stafford heard the sheep bang down along the track. Quietly, he took Farmer McCall to find them. Stafford hummed softly as the farmer loaded the sheep into his truck, and he watched happily as they trotted out of his truck and into their new field. The sheep really like you because you're nice and quiet, Stafford, said Farmer McCall. Stafford realized that sometimes it was good to be a quiet engine. Later, when Stafford hummed into the yard, Thomas and Percy asked him what happened to his steamy sounds. I'm not making them anymore, Stafford replied. I'm not steamy, Stafford. I'm quiet, Stafford, the electric engine. And off he went, hardly making a sound. Well, that ends another story. And I hope you guys are enjoying this because Thomas and Friends are not done yet. They've got another story coming your way. So get comfy and stay tuned. The name of this story is called Kevin Meets Cranky. Cranky was having a busy day at the docks. He worked as hard as he could, but more and more cargo kept arriving. Lifting and loading. Does it ever stop? He moaned as boxes piled up around him. Sir Topham Hatt asked Kevin to help Cranky. Kevin was very excited. I've always wanted to meet Cranky, he said with a big smile. He couldn't wait to show everyone what a really useful crane he was. Hello, Cranky, Kevin said when he arrived at the docks. I'm here to lend you a helping hook. What do you want me to do? I don't need any help, Cranky replied. But surely there's something I can do, Kevin replied. Just stay out of my way then, Cranky said. I don't need any help. Thank you very much. Kevin moved to a quiet corner of the docks and waited to be called. Don't fret, matey. He's Cranky by name and cranky by nature, Salty said kindly. You'll get used to him. Then, as Cranky uploaded some pipes from a ship, a few pipes came loose. Look out! He yelled as they crashed down onto the docks. I'll get 'em! Kevin called. He rushed to help. Kevin stacked up all the pipes as neatly as he could. There you go, Cranky. All done, he said. But Cranky wasn't happy. That was your fault, he said. You're watching me all the time. It makes me nervous. Go away and stop interfering. Later, Cranky was carrying a crate of chickens when it cracked open. all the chickens escaped. "Don't worry, it's all under control," Kevin said as he rounded up the chickens. "I told you, stay out of my way," Cranky said, sounding even more annoyed than before. "All your whizzing around is making me dizzy." Then Kevin heard a loud crash. Cranky's hook had knocked over some barrels, and one of them was rolling towards the water's edge. "I've got it," Kevin said as he hurried to reach the barrel. But he couldn't stop himself, and he fell into the sea instead. "Help! Help!" Kevin called. "Crane, overboard!" Salty shouted. Cranky quickly lifted his hook and carefully lifted Kevin out of the sea. "Well done, matey," Salty said, smiling. When Sir Topham Hatt heard what had happened, he was not happy at all. "I thought I could trust you with this special job, Kevin," he said. "It wasn't his fault, sir," Cranky told him. "It was mine. Kevin was only trying to help. He's been a really useful crane." "Well, it's good to see you getting along so well," Sir Topham Hatt replied. "Carry on." "What would you like me to do now?" Kevin asked Cranky. "Let's get the docks looking shipshape," Cranky answered. "Okay, boss," Kevin said with a big smile. "You and me, Cranky. What a great team."